What would I do if I had to start over? What if I had to relearn how to paint or draw? Here are 5 things that I would do differently. 1. Buy quality instead of quantity. Instead of buying cheap products that you can buy a bunch of, buy 1 or 2 really good products. Instead of fighting with cheap paper, buy a good quality paper. Trust me, it will make a difference. I was so guilty of just using cheap craft paints when I was first learning how to paint or draw. And it was so frustrating because they weren't very opaque. And I would have had a better result if I had just gotten quality paints and not as many colors, which leads me into tip number 2. Don't overwhelm yourself with color options. You don't need every single color under the sun. Just pick 3 main colors and a white and a black. Because your color mixing skills will grow exponentially when you don't have a whole lot of colors to choose from. When you have to mix the colors yourself, you quickly learn what works and what doesn't. Tip number 3 is don't just draw or paint what comes easy to you. For the longest time, all I would draw or paint is landscapes because, well, that's what came easy to me. And honestly, landscapes are my favorite to paint. But I kind of shot myself in the foot. Because instead of challenging myself, I just went with what was easy. Which meant my skill set kind of set stagnant. Yeah, my landscapes got better, but it was kind of a one-trick pony kind of deal. If I was learning how to paint or draw again, I would challenge myself more often. Yeah, the results aren't as fun, but sometimes it's just worth it to have something that's you're learning from versus something that you're not. So make the failure and learn from your failure. 4, practice drawing accurately. There are a ton of ways to practice drawing accurately, which could be a whole nother video in itself. But one popular way of drawing accurately is the grid method, where you draw a grid on your reference photo and then draw a corresponding grid on your paper or canvas. And I'll be completely honest, I suck at measuring, so this one's not my favorite, but it is a good challenge. Another way is tracing. And I know, there's a lot of hate out there for those who like to trace. But here's the deal. It's not like you're going to be tracing your whole life. Tracing is just a good way to practice learning how to draw. It teaches your brain and your hand to draw what's there instead of what you think you might see. And tip number 5 is use a good reference photo. You may think you know what a tree looks like, but your brain doesn't always remember things accurately. And then there's the whole lighting and values. Yeah, just get a good reference photo. You can find some good reference photos. There are several different online places like Unsplash. And then a lot of times I get my reference photos from friends. I'll see a good photo they've taken that I like, and I'll ask permission, of course. And a lot of times they say yes. I don't think I've had anyone say no. Another option is taking your own reference photos. Yeah, so that's all the tips I have for you today. But keep painting. And here's a bonus tip. Don't be upset about what the result is on your painting. If the result isn't what you want, take a look at it and have a critical eye. Make notes on what you could do better, how you can improve. I'm not saying you dog your art. I'm just saying look at it and see what you can improve on. Because there's always room for improvement. Oh, and one more thing. Don't give up creating. Talent doesn't always come naturally. It's something you work at.